Good evening, cult members. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is our weekly Doctor Who review, and this episode is for Kerblam!
Right.
I've been waiting all night. It's like, Kerblam!
Calm down.
This is the Doctor Who version of Amazon.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's totally what it's about.
Yes, it's Amazon of the future.
Yes. They have a whole moon and teleporting robots to deliver you your packages in
Right.
a quick time. So
And it's exciting when you get your package.
yeah.
And you open it up, and sometimes it's been a while since you ordered that.
I told her, I guess a couple of months ago, I'm like, can it be Christmas again? So when I get home, there's packages out in front that we're like surprised by. Overall, I think this was actually a really good episode.
Yeah, I liked it.
I found myself like the adventure part of it, like being like engaged in this in this episode.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you're a little hesitant when they do these robot ones, but
I'll get into that in a minute. But.
And this doesn't. I don't want to spoil it, but this doesn't end the way you think it will. I think
it does not. It does not end the way you think it's going to end, and that's fine. The robots in this episode, they're the delivery people,
yep.
And they reminded me of like maybe the Ood for a little bit, like the way they're kind of very polite and very matter of fact and stuff, but they also kind of move like the mannequins from the Christmas episodes with Nine, and Rose
on the Titanic,
and then the Titanic ones. Those are the ones that like the robots, the angel robots from the Titanic episode. That one's called Voyage of the Damned because I looked that one up because that was exactly what information. And
information,
and they even sound like the same guy.
Yeah,
I looked it up. It's not, but it sounded like the same guy.
Yeah, it did.
So,
okay.
But the you think that the robots are going to be. I'm trying to, how do I word this without spoiling it? You think that the robots are going to be the big bad. And they are, but not for the reasons you think they are.
Right.
Is that a good way of not spoiling it and making it make sense? Okay. This episode does deal with the idea of automation and more automation being part of our lives and how it could be used and can be used.
And people losing their jobs to
automation and then how those of us who are into stuff that is automated abusing it and making it kind of do things that it really is not meant to do or get lost in that automation.
Right. Yep. That's good.
Is that a good way of putting it?
Sure.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's once you kind of get into the episode and you kind of realize what's going on. I was like,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple of things that this is now the third week that they have made references to previous doctors. And we had this week we had two.
No, we had three.
We had three?
Yes. Go ahead.
So the first one was she got a fez.
Yes.
It's like the first thing in the first episode. She gets a package, and it's a fez, and she says, "Is it still me?"
Right.
Yes. By the way, it's still her. She talked about and the quote was, "Speaking of wasp, did I ever tell you about me and Agatha Christie?"
Right.
And we both went, "Was there wasp in that episode?" And so we looked it up, and is wasp. Angels and Wasps?
I think that's the name of it. But the bad guy, the murderer in that episode, was a giant
wasp. I forgot about that. Yeah, as soon
so
as you
that
said
was Matt Smith and Donna, or David Tennant and Donna.
Right.
The Fez was Matt Smith. And then she says, some of my best friends were robots.
Oh, that's right.
K9.
And she also made a comment of laters
Yeah.
as she was leaving one of the offices. She's like, laters, and they're like, she's like, I used to use that all the time. It's not good anymore, whatever. So, like, made references to all the different, again, making references to the previous doctors. So those of us who are Whovians who know stuff are able to catch up on it, but yet making everybody feel welcome
Yeah.
in the episodes.
I don't. Did she do stuff in the last one?
She did. She made references in the last one that was
Okay.
like, it was stuff that I was like, yeah,
Because
yeah,
a couple
okay.
people had pointed out that they thought this was the first time. So I just
Maybe I'm just looking into stuff, hoping that,
maybe.
whatever. Again, this was a standalone episode where there's no overall story arc for this series
There's no. Yeah.
that we know of.
Yeah.
It's a standalone story, very much like The Voyage of the Damned, or The Husbands of River Song, where it's an individual story arc or whatever, which is cool. And they only have 3 episodes left this season. But I think
Right.
next season I would like to have individual stories with an overall story arc.
Yeah. Well, and it's so weird because they set it up. The first 2 episodes, the guy with the teeth in his face, right? And
right.
then the next one, they made reference to him, and then it's just gone.
Yeah. And this was one of the first episodes that I specifically remember them not having this episode is about Ryan, or this one is about Yaz, or this one's about Graham, or
Yeah, that's
this was
true.
about all of them
Yeah.
working together as a group. They all kind of went off and did their own part of the story.
Yep.
But it was all of them together's story. It wasn't their individual story.
Yeah. Yeah. All of them trying to figure out what's going
The
on.
mystery of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think overall, I did like, though, that Graham is really, like, fully embracing his time with the Doctor. I keep connecting with him as the old white guy in the group. I'm not saying I'm the old white guy in the group, but I keep connecting with him more because he was very reluctant to begin with, and now he's like, oh yeah, we're doing this and we're doing that.
Yeah.
We went over here. I'm
Yeah.
like 435 years old, and like making jokes like that and stuff. And he just kind of totally is just leaning into all of that.
And it's kind of the opposite of what you would think, right? You'd think the younger 2 would be more into it, but they're not reluctant, but
They're very Martha Jones when it comes to it. Like, they're along for the ride, but they're not really sure if they
yeah.
like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The 2 other things I want to talk about that happened, that I want to talk about at least for this episode, was one, we got no preview for the next episode.
Right.
Usually at the end of the episode, we get a 20 or 30 second teaser.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get any of that, so I wonder if there's a gap for a couple of weeks because of the holiday.
Yeah, I mean, that would
It's
be
a holiday for us here
weird.
in the
Yeah,
States,
'cause
but
it's
yeah.
for us, not for them. So, yeah. When do we know when the last episode is supposed to air?
They have 3 episodes left, and
Yeah.
then the New Year's episode.
Right.
So there's 4 episodes left, so we might get a gap here, so they can roll into New Year's,
Yeah.
have Christmas off, and then into New Year's.
I don't
So
know.
I haven't seen anything official. And the only other thing that I wish to say is bubble wrap is ruined forever.
I want to find a piece of bubble wrap and go.
And once you watch the episode, you will understand. And if we're not here in the morning,
I just wanted them to pop
just
pop it.
Just pop
Pop
it.
it, pop it.
Pop. But overall, good episode.
Yeah.
Probably
like
one of the better ones of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe not as good as Rosa or the Demons in the Pujan that we had last week, but it's
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It felt a little more Doctor Who-y.
I like
That's
Doctor
a
Who.
word.
We're totally going with Doctor Who.
Doctor Who-y.
That's totally what it was. It was a Doctor Who episode. It
All right.
it felt very much Tennant.
Yeah. Well,
it
when
felt
they-
very Tennant
You see all the
and
all the
Eccleston.
guys, all the delivery men in the warehouse or whatever. It was very Cybermen.
Yeah. So maybe some stuff, maybe setting up for stuff later on, but we'll see. So that's our thoughts on this episode called Kerblam. I want to scream it out so bad, but I want to blow out the microphone. But that's our thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think of this episode of Doctor Who? Let us know. Like this video. Leave us a comment. And please subscribe to the channel. Get a hold of us, too, on our Facebook page at PopCultureCult. We're on Instagram at PopCultureCult1 and then Twitter. I don't care. And we're also on the Stardust app. Download it for free from your app store and react to everything you're watching, including Doctor Who. And until next time, good night now, cult members.